that woke the dead. Seriously, if in the Rock Creek Parkway Cemetery, there were people up and around last night. It was wild. But that's why I love Virginia and Maryland. If you come to Delmarva, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, you just get used to these rockers, and I love them. I actually love them. I think they're terrific. But they do tend to they're the sort that do not make for a peaceful night's sleep. Welcome back. Yesterday, Harvard announced that they're going all virtual. And Princeton announced it's going to cut tuition 10%, but only half of their undergraduates can come back. Georgetown is going to let its freshmen come into D.C., but bar most others from being on campus. And you'll get similar announcements from various colleges across the United States. Hugh Hewitt's rule of thumb: it ain't college if everyone ain't there. Don't pay for it. Take a gap year. Now, what do I mean by a gap year? So you were going to go to college when you're 18. Right now, they're going to say, you bet, take a year off. Come back in the fall of 2021. If you're scheduled to go and your college is not up and running. Now, some are going to be up and running. Some have decided, okay, we're going to make the old professors stay home and teach remotely. And if you're the professors under 50, they can come to class. And we'll observe social distancing for the professors and the staff who are older. But the students can be the students. And the network effects of college are what matter the most. Of course, people learn things in the hard sciences. They learn things in the political theory. They learn things. I'll talk to Larry Arnn about this tomorrow or Friday on the show. I'm pre-recording an hour with Dr. Arnn about Xenophon for Friday. I'm taking 2 days off. It's the Fetching Mrs. Hewitt and I's 38th wedding anniversary on Friday. So Kurt Schlichter is coming in Thursday and Friday to give us a little break. But I just don't think, like, I went to Harvard. I loved it, loved everything about it. And when I wandered onto campus in 1974 and went into my dorm in the Harvard Yard, Stoughton, I had a great first year. I loved my 3 years at Winthrop. I loved every part about it. Great school, nothing bad to say about it. Gone a little bit crazy since then, but it's still a great school. But honestly, I wouldn't send my kid there for online learning. Yeah, stay at home and go to Harvard. No, I don't think so. That's not what it's about. Princeton, half the students, no, that I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, it's not college, and that goes for Miami of Ohio, where one of my sons went. Goes for Colorado, where another one went. Goes for Northwestern, where my daughter went. Goes for any school in the United States. If you went somewhere that isn't gathering everybody in to do the normal thing, except when it comes to older professors, they're going to teach remotely, don't go. Take the year off and tell them I'm not sending you the money. I expect that you'll give me a year off, and they will, because that's not what you paid for. You bought college. That's not college. It would be like saying, I would like a car and getting Dwayne's scooter. And scooters are nice. Nothing wrong with a scooter. But it's not the Ferrari you thought you were buying. Not at 50 grand a year or 60 grand a year or 70 grand a year. So that's big news. And meanwhile, what about high school and secondary school? Florida ordered its schools to reopen in the fall. Do you know why? It did so even as virus cases are soaring. Do you know why? Because the hardest statistic to find is the one most people want to know. What is the fatality rate in Florida? I can't find it. Yesterday we lost under 300 Americans. I think it was 250. I saw that number float up somewhere. Let me see if I can bring it back up. But I spent 30 minutes this morning looking for COVID fatalities by day. That can't be right. That's New York. New York lost 9 people yesterday. All right, so 244 Americans died yesterday from COVID. 244. Now, we've had 132,000 deaths since the beginning of this thing. It's a lot of dead Americans from COVID, but only 244 of them yesterday. You see, the death rate had a huge spike in early May. In early May, it got very, very high. But in April, early April, it was up in the 700 and 800 a day range. And then it is steadily, with one spike in early May, come down, 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 down. So that it just is not following uh, a fatality rise that would scare you. So what is happening? Doctors are actually learning how to treat it. That's what's happening. I had an email from a very smart friend yesterday in the medical sciences business, not himself a doctor, but in the medical sciences business. And he told me, look, COVID was originally thought to be killing people via pneumonia, but turns out blood clots and blood vessels is a leading cause. Pneumonia is sometimes, but aspirin and heparin help. The reduced levels of oxygen in the blood, obviously the indicator. That's why I wear my circle ring all the time. If you haven't got a circle ring yet, you should go to circlering.com. Circle spelled CIRCUL, circle ring, because it tells you what your oxygen level is. It ought to be above 90%. If you become below 90%, you may have COVID. Not diagnostic, it's an observation. We know that a couple of antivirals kill the coronavirus. And we know that some people who had been dying because the immune system responded in an exaggerated form, and we now know what to do about that too. And so doctors are getting smart. And as they get smart, the fatality rate plummets. There's also some speculation in the Wall Street Journal today that it may be that the new strain of the virus isn't as deadly. That what's spreading around the country is a variation. And although the number of cases is skyrocketing, the deaths is falling. We don't know. The point is we don't know, but Florida has said, everybody back to school. Because the one thing we do know is that there is yet no sign of it being particularly terrible for kids. A couple of kids have died here and there. It's tragic, but children die every year. It's always tragic. It's never easy. If you watch Hamilton over the weekend like we did, you know that Philip Hamilton dies, and it's the saddest part of the show. You know that that's the worst thing in life is to lose a child. So I'm not making light of it, but it's very, very, very rare. And you can't keep kids out of school because of a very, very rare disease that some of them will get as it circulates among children. Now, the result of all this is that markets are absorbing the information. And this market update is brought to you by Birch Gold, HughGold.com.